My only reservation in putting a specific number, I'd like to get the sponsor's thoughts, because in our EDCOM discussion, in our EDCOM quarterly meeting last week, we were already talking about how in many courses available now in the universities where they have free tuition, and we talked about our Doktor para sa Bayan, the need to prioritize the courses that have the need to prioritize the courses to somehow encourage students to take on these courses could really be differentiated by the kind of support that you give them in taking the courses, correct? So although it wasn't a lengthy discussion, we were already talking about how do we prioritize these courses? How do we give more support so that they become teachers, they become health professionals? So my concern is, if we make this initial decision now, I'm just asking for the thoughts of the sponsor probably, and even the minority floor leader. Would we possibly in a subsequent bill maybe change that and make a list of courses where we provide the different return to service? Because all of us right now in here have been in the Senate for at least more than 3 years. No, some of us have been here for more than a decade, including me, and we regret later on these numbers that we put in. We do a lot of legislation piecemeal. So I don't have anything against it, minority floor leader, to be clear, I don't. But I just want to see the bigger picture. What about the nurses and their return to service? What would that be? What about the regular teachers or teachers who specialize in math, which is where we're doing very poorly? What would that be? You know, I just really want to align this with the bigger picture on the lack of qualified personnel, both in the education and health sector. And this covers both. So that is my question to the two gentlemen.
Well, Mr. President, the section is about the DepEd personnel scholars, if I'm not mistaken, if to be confirmed by our... Yes, this is about the DepEd personnel scholars.
In service.
And in exchange for their upskilling through a scholarship in a mental health related course, there will be an obligation for return service. But then the section only says that the length of that return service is within a reasonable period. So my amendment puts a maximum possible period, but that is not the period. So that's just the intent of the amendment, Mr. President, just to put a maximum on what the DepEd can require as the return service period for the return service. And that would be the effect of the amendment.
And my comment on that would be precisely, I don't know. That might be the norm. It may not be the norm. The only one I can think of is PMA. As far as I know, unless it's changed, it's 8 years. That's the only basis we have, because we've been very, I don't know, conservative. Parang ayaw natin maglagay ng ganon, but I feel it's high time that we talk about this. And I'm just concerned that we're taking this in isolation, when honestly, a lot of these professions have the same issue. We need to encourage more of them to take it. And regarding the DepEd scholars, there's a lot. It's open-ended, Mr. Sponsor. If you look at what's written there, they're DepEd scholars for so many courses. It could be the guidance. It could be it's in-house service. It's still everything. So that's my concern. I'm not against this. I'm just asking the body and the two gentlemen to consider. Balikan natin lahat ng batas ngayon. Lahat yun lalagyan natin. Kasi ang ayoko mangyari, yung iba wala, ito meron, but I'm actually for it. And I actually support the clarity that the minority floor leaders bringing into this discussion. I'm just saying that it only covers this line of work.
President, can I ask for a minute suspension?
So, suspended for 1 minute.